Hi students, welcome back to Geology. In this series of videos, we're going to talk about geologic time, fossils, and fossilization. So, have you ever thought about how geologists figure out how old things are? Well, this is step one. And then next week, we're going to dive deep into geochronology, where we learn how we date rocks and fossils and all of that good stuff. All right, so through this video, we're just going to introduce geologic time. So it's going to feel very superficial. And then we're going to dive into fossils in the next video. Okay, so first things first, your pondering question. If humans have only existed for a tiny fraction of Earth's history, how could we possibly reconstruct what happened billions of years ago? Why do we put ourselves in this position that we feel like we're the dominant species that needs to figure all of this out? Well, you might have your own answer to that, but we'll go through this and see what you think. All right, so the geologic timescale is how geologists put things that happened on Earth in a chronological order. So it's kind of like a calendar for Earth's history. Okay, so we're looking at segments of time, and we'll go through the different segments of time and what they mean. But anything that happened in the past, we place somewhere on this scale, whether that's the age of a rock or when organisms existed, when plants first existed, when dinosaurs went extinct, all of that good stuff goes on the geologic timescale. Okay, so first things first, these are the main segments of time. We have eons, eras, periods, and epochs. Okay, so eons are the largest group. They cover the longest geologic time, and in them there are several eras. Okay, so several eras make up an eon. Within an era, we have periods. Several periods will make up an era. And then in more recent times, we've had within our periods a subdivision called epochs, where we further subdivide smaller segments of time. And that's because when we're looking at things that are more recent in Earth's history, we really need to focus in on smaller segments of time because we know a lot more about recent Earth's history than stuff that happened 4 billion years ago. Okay. So we're going to start in the Precambrian eon and we're going to work our way towards the present. Okay, so more than 85% of Earth's history falls in this, what we call a super eon. Precambrian is huge. It covers 4.6 billion years ago to 540 million years ago. So that is a huge span of time. And in about 0.6 billion years is just the Hadean eon. Okay, so the Hadean eon is a sub-eon of the full Precambrian. So the Hadean is where Earth was solidified and continental and oceanic crust forms, and that's also where the moon started to form. Okay, we move a little bit closer into the Archean, which is 4 to 2.5 billion years ago. This is when Earth's first life starts showing up in the oceans and the full continents are starting to form. So this is the first instance of basically singular celled life. Okay, that's in the Archean. In the Proterozoic eon, which is 2.5 to 0.5 billion years ago, this is where we see multi-celled organisms, animals, and we see land masses starting to really form the continents. And then at the end of this eon, we see the first plants and animals appear on land. On land. Okay, and then we move to the Phanerozoic eon, which is a smaller segment of time than the Precambrian. Precambrian is really old stuff, anything older than 500 million years. Okay, so in this eon, we've got the Paleozoic era, which is from 544 to 245 million years ago. This is when marine life just exploded, and the largest mass extinction occurred of the marine organisms at this time as well, and so this is dominated mostly by sea critters. In the Mesozoic era, we're looking at 245 to 65 million years ago. This era marks the beginning of the dinosaurs. So this is when dinosaurs showed up. And then mammals, birds, and plants are lost due to a mass extinction at the end of this era. Okay. Then we get into the Cenozoic. This is the most recent era within the Phanerozoic eon. This era marks the age of mammals and where humans first evolved. So this is 65 million years ago to present. Okay, so then we're going to go a little bit further in. We're going to look at the Paleozoic era more specifically. So this covers from 551 or so million years to a little bit less than 300 million years. So we've got the Cambrian, the Ordovician, the Silurian, the Devonian, the Mississippian, the Pennsylvanian, and the Permian. The Permian is where dinosaurs started to kind of show up. Things that look like dinosaurs were appearing in the fossil record. The Cambrian is marked particularly by trilobites. But here, there's not a lot of huge mega fossils. Things aren't very big yet. Not until we get past the Permian do we see, like I said, dinosaurs show up in the Cretaceous, the Jurassic, and the Triassic. For a fun fact, in Jurassic Park and Jurassic World, most of the fossils that they show, or the dinosaurs that they show, are Cretaceous dinosaurs, which is interesting. And then at the end of the Cretaceous is where all of the dinosaurs went extinct. So that is the mass extinction 65, 66 million years ago, which happened in the Mesozoic era, or at the end of the Mesozoic. So it kind of marks that transition period from the Cretaceous to the Tertiary. Okay, so in the Cenozoic era, we have the Holocene, the Pleistocene, the Pliocene, the Miocene, the Oligocene, the Eocene, and the Paleocene. We are currently in the Holocene, which is the most current period that we are in right now. All right, so in this really short summary, geologic timescale helps geologists and scientists put Earth's history in order chronologically, kind of like a calendar. It has four main divisions. We have eons, eras, periods, and epochs. The concept of geologic time is that a period is a basic unit of geologic time during which a specific rock system is produced, or maybe there was a specific characteristic of the animals that were found on Earth or the life on Earth. And when eras are grouped together, they create the big eons. Okay. What are two ways in your notes that geologists determine the age of rocks or events in Earth's history? So think about how we could determine. So this is kind of a precursor, maybe not so much of an exit ticket, but more of a precursor in your notes to determine age of rocks. Okay, so we'll get that answered in the next couple of videos. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.